Well, basically in boxing, the referee, albeit male or female, controls the contest. And there's 3 simple commands that are spoken. And the first command is box, which basically means box. The second command is stop, which means stop, and generally there's an infringement of the rules, and the referee's going to talk to that individual boxer before he'll then say box, and they'll carry on. But there's one in between that, and it's vitally important that these boxers understand the concept of it, and that is break. So for instance, if the 2 boxers are tied up with each other and the command of break is given, they have to push away 1 pace and carry on boxing. There's no other command. And a lot of boxers that aren't taught it properly at other clubs think it means stop. It doesn't. It means push away, straight back in. And that's what I teach you straight away, every time. And one of the easiest ways of doing it is keep repeating the command, and now and again I'll purposely make them come together to say break. So there's always 1 boxer in the red corner, and there's always 1 boxer in the blue corner. The white corners are neutral corners, and generally that's where a boxer will go if he or she knocks the other boxer down, or a boxer knocks them down. It's the neutral corner they have to go to. So for instance, if a boxer knocks an opponent down, the quicker they get to the corner, the less time they get to recover, because the referee won't start the count until, that's why you'll see the referee doing this. And then he'll start 1, 2. So until they get there, the count doesn't start. My name is Gerard Lavelle, otherwise known as Jerry. And this boxing club was formed in 2002 from scratch. Unlike a lot of clubs that are already formed for 50 or more years, this had to be started from scratch. So that was 17 years ago when I moved from London. I decided to open this as a fresh face on the boxing scene. And obviously we're still going now. Well, basically I come into the gym, sometimes I have the help of a boxer. And basically we set the gym up. It's a community hall, so it's used for many other events, clubs, ballet, art, prayer groups. It's numerous, so we have to set up and take down every time we come into the gym environment, which isn't easy, but it means we can do what we do, and that's vitally important. 1, 2. 1, 2, 3, 4. Good. 1, 2. Excellent. 1, 2. Yeah, well, basically what happened is when I'd done my first open night, the company that I worked for, who was then Kelsey Housing, I said, if you want me to do boxing, it has to be a bit more realistic than just an empty hall. So I asked them to put a frame and a bag up. On my first night, which was free for all comers, I had 14 attend, and there was a guy called Mick Cogger. There was a crime prevention officer from Chichester district in Sussex Police, and he said, oh, you're doing a fantastic job. So I said, put your money where your mouth is, and basically he got his £1,000 off the police, which got the club started. Hence why I try and bring the police in at every opportunity. I've also trained police officers from Chichester, and one of them's actually boxed for us, so that they feel comfortable and not estranged from police officers, which is good for them, so they know that they're no threat, and it's good for the club as well. But as I said, without that £1,000, we wouldn't have got started for some time. 1, 2. And again. Oh, you're asking a big question there. Basically, when I lived in Scotland prior to moving to England, I was a football fanatic, and I played at quite a high level. And the main team I started playing for was Celtic Boys Club at the very lower echelon. And I used to play in under 14s when I was 11. Even though I was tiny, I was very good at dribbling and such like. In that area of Scotland, Greenock on the west coast, it was very much like Glasgow back in the day, so it was all gangs. So I belonged to a gang, and I never had any choice in that, unfortunately. So we were always fighting anyway. That was part of the course day to day. If you could avoid it, you would, but if you had to fight, you would fight. And then we moved to England, because my aunt was very ill and my mother decided to move us down here. Started going to a secondary school in South East London, in Woolwich. And there was 2 Scottish boys there that told me there was a boxing club they attended. Why didn't I come along? And I was humming in hand. Then they kept asking, I said, okay, I'll give it a go. And as soon as I stepped into that gym, I knew it was the right place for me. So I started boxing, probably started attending when I was 11 in Messina. I think a period of 3 months. I had had my first contest at St Peter's Church Hall, next to the Catholic Church, against a lad called Stephen English from Selwood Boxing Club. And I got battered, as they say in Scotland. I just wanted to fight him, and he boxed my head off. So after that loss, I decided that I had to train harder and apply myself more accordingly, which I did. And I actually boxed that lad 3 times after that. On the last occasion, I stopped him and I beat him on the other 2. As I trained harder, I started to progress and became more technically adaptable in boxing. And I was entered into the schoolboy championships, as they were back in the day. You box for your school through your club. And I won the South East division. I then won the London division, lost in the semi-finals. And as that was happening, obviously I was progressing and getting older. And obviously the contests were getting harder. Then at the age of 17, I had my first senior contest at Woolwich Town Hall. And I boxed a lad called Junior Saeed from Sir Philip Game, which is Frank Bruno's old boxing club. And again, I got schooled. I mean, he looked like he was worth £1,000 with all the stuff he'd done. I don't know if that threw me a little bit, but he boxed my head off. And again, I boxed him twice after that. On the last occasion was in the South East London finals at Capsey Town Hall, where I picked up my first boxing title as a light flyweight at 17 years of age. And then I started to progress accordingly again. At the age of 17, I got a call up from England Boxing, who were interested as to why I had a funny accent. But my old coach had told them that I was English, it was just my parents that were Scottish. I had a contest at the Royal Lancaster Hotel against America, and I was the first person in the ring, and I was the only Englishman to win that night by unanimous decision. And there was 4 future world champions on that bill. Then after that, I reached the semi-finals of the ABAs. Now back then there was 92,000 active amateur boxers, and at the end of that I was number 2 in Great Britain. More England contests follows and more titles. As I said, I was number 2 in Great Britain at the height of my career. I also boxed against Ireland, Germany, Denmark and Scotland. All wins except for the Scottish one, and that's a long story I couldn't tell you all in one day. I then decided to join the Royal Air Force, and in 1980 I was the Royal Air Force bantamweight champion. But obviously I was an aircraft electrician, so a lot of my time was work, and that was around the Falklands campaign, so I took part in that with fixing VC-10s. So I wasn't really training as much as I should be. But what I actually did was I went through the weights from light fly, flyweight, bantamweight, featherweight, lightweight, light welterweight, all at open class elite level, whilst I was in the forces, and I won all those. Apart from the last one, I lost in a majority decision, which was a really close contest. Then I left the Royal Air Force, and I then decided to turn professional. But after training for about 6 months with a former European champion, Vernon Solis, from Scotland, I decided it wasn't for me, and I then went into the coaching side. So initially I started training at a club in South East London called Samuel Montague. Then I moved from there to Artem Boxing Club when Julius Francis was there, and he was leaving to turn pro and eventually fighting Mike Tyson. So I took his coach's place, Mark Rowe. I stayed there for about 2 years, then I returned to my original club, St Peter's in Woolwich, as a coach. That never quite worked out after 2 years, and then I got divorced and I moved down here and St Gerards was formed.
My name is Luke Bow and I've been boxing for around about 1 year. Jerry's a really good coach. He pushes me in the right direction. He tells me exactly how to deal with situations that may occur outside of the club. He's maybe a better boxer by far. He tells me exactly, he notices everything that I'm doing wrong and he tells me how to perfect it. I would like to become noticed and go on to be a professional boxer. It means everything. I would have made so many bad choices in my life if I hadn't have been at this club.
I think that takes many things, but more than anything it takes dedication and discipline and applying yourself to the different types of exercise you have to do, strength, conditioning, cardio, long runs, short runs. Boxing's a little bit different to other sports. For instance, football, rugby, netball, hockey, basketball, they're all team games. So if you're having an off day, you've always got somebody to help you. When you enter the hallowed square, as we call it, you're on your own. So you have to be a bit different as an individual to be able to cope with that. Keep your hands up nice and high, Christopher. Well done. Don't stay still too long. Well done, guys.
My name is Stanley Chun. I've been at the club about 3.5, no, like a year. Because I was finding it a bit hard at secondary school, so I decided to find something else just to keep my brain more flowing. So I decided to get into boxing to build more confidence. Funny, nice, friendly, and you can go to him if you're struggling. Yeah, definitely.
Can you give me examples of that?
So first of all, my jab was really wonky, and he took me off for 5 minutes to sort it out, and then
don't drop your left
the
hand
next
when
day
it goes
it just
back,
comes
Stanley.
out, and it's better
Keep your
than
hands up.
5 times better than what it normally is. A lot. It's it's got a place in your heart, because you come here twice a week, every week, and you don't miss a session. So yeah.
We're ready first thing in the new year for her first competitive contest. Stanley will be a little bit longer. I think that's a question you'd have to ask them, but I think it's a place where they feel safe, an environment where they feel they fit in. A lot of youngsters choose boxing because they don't fit into the other types of sports, and this seems to give them what they're looking for. So I'm sure I don't think I've had any unhappy people in it, except when they have a bad night, and we all have those. In general, although as I said it's an individual sport, in here we are very much a team.
My name's Neil Wilson and I've been at the club about 5-6 years. To get fit, to keep myself fit, it's a bit of a thing to do before I get too old. Yeah, something I can cross off my my bucket list, you know. So, I've been doing it on and off for years, but I just thought I got a last chance saloon and just get into it and get it done and get dedication, motivation. I think it's brilliant for young kids when you see them progress through their boxing and things like that, you know. I just think it's brilliant. Jerry's a brilliant trainer, very good, the club's very family orientated. But yeah, he's really supportive, always comments, you know, really all supportive of you. Yeah, I do. I've improved a lot since the last club I went to. Confidence, improves confidence and everything about it. I've been coming here. Oh, everything. I think there should be a boxing club in most, or some sort of martial art form in every town and city. Gets the kids in, motivate, keeps them off the streets, everything like that, and I think there should be a lot more money involved in it.
Box. Keep the head and shoulder moving all the time, Lance. Hard work, discipline, respect. That's what I give them. And we have little rules: no hands in your pockets, no leaning against the wall, no chewing bubble gum, no talking when you should be applying yourself accordingly, because when they're in the ring, as I said earlier, they're on their own. During that 2 or 3 minute round, there's nothing I can do. I can do a bit of shouting, but only to a certain degree. So if they don't apply themselves in the ways that I've said, then they wouldn't stay at this club long. You know, the funny thing is that clock's been with us from the start of this club, and it cost a lot of money. It cost nearly £500. And eventually it stopped working, I don't know, 7 years ago. And we got a little electronic one, computerised. And about a year and a half ago, it broke. Somebody dropped it. So the workings inside became dismantled and you never had the electrical connections. And just by chance, I looked at the top of the cupboard and I saw that, and I pulled it down, dusted it off, plugged it in, it started working. And I was like, yeah, because as I said, they're really expensive. And it is a 2 minute timer, which for most amateurs, that's the length duration of a round with a minute's rest in between. When we had the electronic one, it was still 2 minutes, but we only allowed them half a minute's rest. So the body would get used to less oxygen. So when they're in competition, that extra half a minute's like they're ready to go.
My name's Nathan, and I've been boxing for like 4 months. I've been here since August. I used to do another martial art, and then I decided that it wasn't enough for me, and because it was non-contact, so I thought I'd move to boxing. There's something more advanced. I was at a train station, and I was attacked by another man, and so it led me on to wanting to pursue boxing. I was at the Petersfield train station, and yeah, and there was a drunk man on the station, and I was with my friends, and my friends left me. They ran off, so I was left alone, and then this man attacked me and punched me, and then after that, that's when I started boxing properly. He's a great coach, yeah. He's really nice, really friendly, and he just makes it a whole better atmosphere here.
I've coached a few professionals that have done not bad. One was Lawrence Bennett, who ended up, I think it was the heavyweight, cruiserweight, Southern Counties title, which is quite a prestigious title to get. And he boxed for us prior to turning professional. So I never actually was in his corner as a pro, I was in his corner as an amateur. My youngest son turned professional at the age of 18, so I trained him from scratch from the time he was 5. But it was 11 before he actually put the gloves on and started sparring. He only had one professional contest and decided to come back to the amateurs. I'm in the process of coaching a young guy called Junior Saeed from London, whose record is 5-0, so he's had 5 wins, no losses, and he's due to make his debut in the new year, reaffirming his position amongst the boxers in the super featherweight class, and he's one to watch for the future. He is. And the professional game is a bit different to the amateur, obviously the rules and regulations, but it's far more brutal. It is. Well, basically, there was a ruling brought out some years ago. It's changed dramatically now, and that was if you turned professional and you felt it wasn't for you, as long as you hadn't had any more than 4 contests, you could come back as an amateur, and that would be recorded in your boxing licence book that you'd had those professional contests when I was making any matches with other clubs. So yeah, but the whole ball game's changed now. You now have professional boxers in the Olympics at different weight categories. So the difference isn't that great. You've also got a thing called the World Series of Boxing, WSB, which was formed by AIBA, the International Amateur Boxing Association, where you have 5 weight groups at professional weights, and you have a team. And it's a bit like 2020 cricket. So they have a little league, you box against the different teams, and we didn't enter at first, but we now have, and we're called the British Bulldogs England Boxing. They box each other. The 5 weight categories at professional levels get 50,000 euros at the end. Don't quote me on that though. And the winning team gets €1 million. Those 5 winners don't have to get into qualifying competitions for the Olympics. They get automatic entry into the Olympics at the relative amateur weights. So it's a little bit, for me it's a con, because as a young pro, most young pros start off doing 4 3-minute rounds. No head guard, no vest. That's what these boxers are doing. There's no vest, there's no head guards, it's not amateur, it's professional. So the game has changed dramatically, and that's all down to money, to be honest with you.
I'm Nicole Shilton and I've been here for over a year. I got into boxing because I came from the martial arts sport, and my dad showed someone a fight and he said he saw boxing in me, so I came here. What got me into boxing was the idea, as when I was a kid I've always wanted to be in the Olympics and things like that. I think it takes the courage of being able to stand in the ring in front of loads of people and be able to stand there and still fight. Jerry's a really good coach and he's funny. He made me a better boxer because when I was doing my footwork, my feet would sometimes close together, or when I'm switching, I'll switch and I would be too close so I could just get hit and fall. I hope to be able to become professional and be able to win titles and things like that. It means a lot to me because boxing, I love boxing so much, and I just love it so much. I'd say join because girls' sports aren't really that popular, but they're slowly getting there. So more girls in it, the more popular it will get, and more girls will find the courage to join.
And again. And again.
Jasmine Elkington, and I've been on and off for 10 years. From a young age, my father figure was a semi-professional boxer. So he taught me from the age of 4, and then when I was old enough to join a club, I joined here at the age of 9, and I've been boxing ever since. I mean, I used to be a footballer, and then I wanted something different because everybody wants to be a footballer. And then I've liked, no, I wouldn't say fighting, but I've liked mixed martial arts ever since I was young. And I thought I had a natural talent at boxing, so I've been boxing ever since. It's not as easy as people think. Like, people think, oh yeah, I'm just going to walk into a boxing club and become a boxer. But it's hard because being someone who likes food, and it's the weight, which is, I think, it's the hardest thing, and the cardio, because people don't understand. He's amazing. I've known him ever since I was little, and he's always been the same. Like, he just enjoys doing it, because sometimes I've been to other gyms and the coaches don't feel like they want to be there. But like, he always gets it early, he always makes sure like the boxer has what they want, and he's good to have as a coach.
Beautiful.
I started off about 13, like going to another club, and because I was a female, they didn't give me much interest. So I was just either skipping or hitting the bag. And then I said to Jerry that I wanted to compete, like I want to become professional. And he was like, yeah, sure, come along, and I've been boxing for ever since. So. Fingers crossed, as an ambition, I want to be in the 2024 Olympics. And I also want to become professional by the time I'm, say, 25. So, quite a lot, because when I was a bit younger, went on a bit of a turn, doing bad things, which I probably shouldn't have been. And then I started boxing again, and it changed. Like, I wouldn't even consider doing it now. So it's good for like mental health and physical health, obviously, because if you see everyone in here, they're obviously in decent shape. But it's good for like mental health, and it's helped me through.
My name's Sam. Been in the club since October, so not long. I've wanted to for a couple of years now, but never had the chance to. And yeah, I've always wanted the discipline. So good work ethic. Yeah, you have to be resilient. Like, you can't just give up. You have to work hard. You need to be quite like to be a good boxer, you need to be mentally strong. So you need to take criticism and take, because not everyone's going to like how you box, but perhaps or you as a person. So you've just got to be mentally strong. He's a really good trainer, the best. Like he's really supportive, but he's like firm but fair. So like here. You've got to be respectful here, which is good, and you've got to work hard to actually get somewhere. So for you to get in the ring, he always says to us you have to work hard and you have to show the work out here on the bags. But no, he's a really good trainer. I haven't been boxing long, but already I do feel like a better boxer. Like my movement's got better. Movement just on the bags. He's putting me in for regular sessions in sparring now, which is good, and I just feel, yeah, a lot better at boxing. Means a lot to be honest, because since I started here, like it makes you feel at home here. So like joining another club now wouldn't be the same, mainly because Jerry and the people really. So it is, yeah, it makes you want to work harder outside of the gym as well.
To the club, to see it still surviving when I'm not here, which hopefully is some time yet, and to see a couple of these youngsters, young adults take over. Jasmine is going on her coach's course in January, so she'll be an affiliated assistant coach ready to take more of the helm. She's here early, as you see, setting up. And there's a number of the other ones that will offer the same opportunity, some of the dads, to go on the same coaching course and start giving back. There's no money in this game. Even in the professional game, there's no money at the lower echelons. Far from it, it costs you money. But that's neither here nor there. I'm here because I love it. And hopefully some of them can take over when I'm not here or not able to do it anymore. Yeah, well, that's my brother Billy, who you've met at Woolwich Town Hall. Boxing in Woolwich Town Hall for our original club, St Peter's. That's me in my last contest that I spoke about. That's the Royal Air Force Combined Service Championship versus the Army, light welterweight, 10 stone. This guy here is a world-renowned coach, Freddie Roach, who's trained numerous world champions. And me and Freddie are godfathers to his baby, who's called after Manny Pacquiao, and that was in Petworth, the christening. This was Freddie over for the Barrera fight in Manchester that Amir Khan won. And I've also took a team out to the wild card, a team of 5 boxers for over a week, which was absolutely amazing. That's 2 of our female champions last year at the Haringey Box Cup, both gold medal winners. That's my youngest boy, who I had custody of from the age of 11, so without him the club wouldn't have happened. And that's him, when he made the comeback from the professionals, that was his shorts for the professionals. Yeah. I told you in the pro game, a young fella that my boy used to spar with, a gym in Bognor when he was doing the pros, he'd got a contest at the York Hall under a manager, I won't say the manager's name, and basically he turned up to box this opponent who had sold 300 tickets, and the manager went, 1,200 quid there, make sure you lose. And nah, well the other boys sold 300 tickets at £35, £40, £60, so he's made him loads of money. He doesn't want to lose because he wants to use them again. Hence the term journeyman. The journeyman is generally somebody that's coming in to take money for not performing to the best of their ability, although they do win now and again.
Like match fixing?
Eh?
Like match fixing?
Yeah. We have had one from here who used to train with us for some time, who's nearly had 100 contests now. And he's earned a lot of money because the journeyman earns money without selling tickets. They don't have to sell tickets. The home boxer has to sell tickets to box. If he doesn't sell a certain amount, he's not boxing, he or she. Whereas the journeyman turns up, he gets his cash and he does what he does. He can earn 50,000 a year for having enough contests.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Big business. And it's the same with the pros, that their opponent will be specifically chosen until they get to, say, 15-0. Then they have to step up to the mark and take on a...
Have you seen Tommy Fury's first fight?
Yeah, well, I mean, any of them.
Someone who's had like 100 losses.
Yeah, yeah, and they tell you he was European champion or whatever. It's not, it's made up. It is. The club, over the past 17 years, has already produced junior and senior male and female champions. And for a small club, we've produced more female champions than male champions. And when I took on the first female, she was 11 years of age. I asked her mother and father if they really wanted their daughter to box because of the type of sport it is, and they said they would support her. And she ended up as the youngest ever recipient of England Boxing Award, and went on to win an ABA title in the Haringey Box Cup gold medal. At present, we've got young Jasmine Elkington, who I'm sure has got future potential, and I would say that by next year, she'll box for England. And I've always been right when I've actually said that. Every other boxer in here, in my eyes, is a champion. Anyone that walks through that door to apply themselves in this environment is a champion. So whether they win titles or not, they're changing their lives and they're changing people's lives out there. This is my life. The club means everything, because for me to have the opportunity coming from the background that I come from, where violence was quite acceptable and normalised. I mean, I can get into details if you wanted me to, but from a young age I've seen some pretty graphic things, and it was a very deprived area. We were very fortunate, although we were a family of 8, we still were fed and watered. And when I moved to England, boxing allowed me to change my life. And by the time I was 17, I was flying over the world. My club bought me my passport, my boots, my shorts. And for me, giving back to these youngsters, young adults that come here, is vitally important to see them changing out there.